before in the history of the United States has anyone been more targeted than Donald Trump, and by extension, his family. The Secret Service needs to get up with the times and rise to the level to meet these threats with additional manpower and additional resources, because these threats are not going to go away, and these threats are continually being egged on by senior elected officials who are pushing their woke idealism as well as their anti-Trump sentiment. This is a huge problem that has cascading effects for something to happen to the sitting president.
You know, David, there seems to be two things happening here. Number one, the rhetoric that is becoming very difficult to deny, having an impact on what's going on with the president. But there's the other threat, the looming sovereign threat, right? These sovereign state-sponsored attempts by Iran to try and assassinate the president and those close to him. How do we actually confront that head-on within the legal system itself?
It's going to be difficult because when you have sovereign people, sovereign governments that are trying to assassinate the president, his family, and Ivanka Trump, there are reports that she was an assassination attempt over the weekend by Iran. You know, getting them here to the United States of America is difficult. We can indict them, and we're indicting people left and right, and we're indicting organizations. But to bring them here, bring them to justice, that is where it's going to be difficult to do. Now, we already did it with Maduro. We're doing it eventually, but it's going to take time, and that's the problem.
The president took to Truth Social, as he usually does, and made this statement right after the incident. He said that he wanted to thank the great Secret Service and law enforcement for the swift professional action taken this evening against the gunman near the White House, who had a violent history and possible obsession with our country's most cherished structure. So, Bill, this guy who identified himself as Jesus Christ not too long ago clearly had mental issues. Why are these people out on the street? Because you know that President Trump keeps on coming up in the news, and these things keep on happening.
And obviously, it's activist judges. It's judges who are making a poor threat assessment. Here's what we need to do. Number one, that in this case, it was suicide by Secret Service. But how do we fix the problem? How do we highlight the issue? One, if you have anyone that has any type of issues with threatening the president, they should be at a higher state. And one of the things they should have is a final restraining order and GPS tracking, so they can't get in any perimeter around the president, and it's a higher state of protection for the president. I think that's something that needs to happen, some type of laws that need to be passed, and they need to be passed faster rather than later.
Richard, the final word to you here, about 30 seconds. Obviously, the president's son was getting married. The president joked it was perhaps bad timing. Is this perhaps what he meant, right? This kind of avalanche of threats against his life and the struggle that we've had with Secret Service to actually make sure he and his family are adequately protected?
Well, it could very well be, but more likely it's because President Trump is so focused on taking care of business and keeping the country safe, he simply doesn't have time for his own personal pursuits. And that's probably what led to him not attending the wedding of Don Jr.
All right, Richard Staropoli, Bill Brown, and Dave Gellman, thank you very much for being with us. Meantime, let's turn to Congresswoman